Hey, welcome. If this is your first time here, welcome. For those of you who are returning, welcome back, and yes, welcome back. So, I don't know how or where I'm going to place this. This may be a segment of the Sacred Alchemy Roundtable, which is my podcast. If you're not familiar, there will be a link in the description. And or I just may leave it on the channel, which is Tonae Star Enterprises. Either way, we're here with a CCCM TV moment, and the CCC is a collective consciousness moment of creativity. So I was getting for you guys with this message, um, the phrase, the image more so of like winter, and winter being a time of where things don't move. Things don't move and things don't grow, like when the bears go into hibernation, right? And so when the winter comes, it feels like things are slowing down. So for some of you, you may feel like you're in a winter season, or you're just coming out of a winter season, is what I was getting. And I feel like a lot of you are coming out. You're like returning to self. There's like this turning point, right? A turning point. And for some of you, it is still a time to be still, right? But as you're being still, this isn't exactly to put you in solitude for any unknown reason. It's like a lot of you are in this time of stillness, in this moment of winter, because you're gathering, you're listening for these sparks of your inner awareness for many of you. And it's like you're taking this moment of time to get quiet, to be with self. It can feel like you're in your winter months, but while you're in the winter phase, you're going within and receiving a very personal sense of direction. So it's like a personal inner awareness. I heard conscious choices, spiritual magnetism. So it's like while a lot of you are in this phase of winter, you're attracting, because magnetism and spiritual magnetism is all about attracting things to you, okay? So it's like as you're making conscious choices, a lot of you, many of you may feel this need to allow for things to come to you, allow this inner awareness to come to you, allow this creativity for a lot of you. I was getting this image of like you're in this winter because a lot of you have the creativity, there are things that are coming, you want to make conscious choices, but when is the last time you laughed or smiled? It's like a lot of you guys are very, how I'm getting it is you're needing, or there's a need to balance out taking time to self and enjoying, like enjoying the journey, enjoying the process, enjoying laughing, smiling, like having fun, getting out, okay? So that's for some of you. Now there's also this essence of where you're in this winter phase, and it's because you're letting go, just like in the winter season, the trees let go of their leaves. Many of you are letting go, and as you're letting go, you're going through this phase as you're making these conscious choices, and then it's time to allow, just like as spring comes after the winter, it's time to allow new growth, just like in spring. Allow Allow the fact for many of you that you've just come out of winter, like many of you have just completed spiritual missions in whatever shape or form this plays out for you. It's like you don't have to be the warrior anymore. For it's like a message I was getting, you can let go of being the warrior, because now it's time to move into this phase of ease, of laughter, of enjoyment, of joy, of lightness, like when the spring comes, right? So you've completed the mission, whatever that may be, on a spiritual sense, right? Collective. And so this is especially for you multi-dimensional architects. It's like you guys have been going into other realms and dimensions, and you're completing missions, right? Spiritual alchemists, you're alchemizing energy, you're completing missions. Okay, so you've been the spiritual warrior, you've been in this winter phase. Many of you are coming out, many of you are in the last phase of it, as you're taking time to reflect, and so that you're able to make these conscious choices to tap into your inner awareness of how you're moving forward with your own personal direction. Like, this isn't coming from outer. For many of you, this winter feels like you're going within, you're taking time with self, you're wanting your higher self, your inner self, your connection with your inner awareness to give you the sense of direction as you're moving forward, going into spring and making these conscious choices. As you're letting go of these old ideas and allowing for this new growth, like spring, it's like you can feel this new dawn coming for you. Okay? And for many of you, it's time to open up. Just like in spring, the bear has to come out of the cave and then emerge to, the new spring freshness, the sun that's shining. There is a new, I just heard that song. It's a new dawn, a new day. Yeah, it's like for many of you, a new dawn is coming, and it's time to open yourself up. Open yourself up to this divine inspiration. Inspiration that's divinely coming from within you. Many of you have creativity, and it's time to unleash your creativity. That's where some of you have felt like you've been in these winter months. And this winter now is time to spring forward. Spring forward with the new dawn. Spring forward and unleash your creativity. Spring forward for a lot of you in love. Being creative in love, or with the way that you communicate and express love. I got that for some of you. Being open to new ways of expressing love, romance for many of you, and not judging yourself, not judging these new avenues that are opening up for you, creative ideas and avenues that are opening up for you. Many of you, it's like a pathway is opening up, and it's an artistic path. It's like you're on this journey, and you've reached this phase in your journey where your creativity is ready to be exploding, like unleashed, like unleash that creativity on the world to make it a better place, to make it better for you, to move energy through you, especially after being in a time of winter. That's for some of you. Time to unleash your gifts is what I'm hearing. Many of you have been in this time of winter, and you've been holding on to pain. That's why some of you are still in the phase or on the timeline of coming out of these winter months. Because now it's like you've been the warrior getting over the pain, and it's time to, and it doesn't feel as easy for you to release these old habits, these old beliefs, this old pain. And for any of you that are still holding on to this pain, then that's exactly it. It is time to acknowledge it. Acknowledge the fact that you've been in this winter phase. Acknowledge that you've been in this pain. Acknowledge the pain. Don't run from it. Don't hide it. Don't sweep it under the rug. Acknowledge it. Feel it. And then allow it to move out. It's like facing it head on. And then that's that winter phase. As you're facing it head on, you're in the cave by yourself. I don't know why I keep getting to the cave, but you're like the bear in the cave by yourself. So you acknowledge that pain. You feel and then move past it. And then as you're moving past it and you're coming out and you're coming into your spring season, allow yourself to connect. Allow yourself, give yourself permission to let people in, to go out and enjoy life, to smile, to enjoy this part of the journey. Everything goes in cycles. So you've gone through the winter. This is now the spring. When is the last time you've laughed? Make someone smile today. Take the focus off of you and just make someone else smile. Make a small compliment to brighten someone else's day. Even that brief moment allows to shift energy through you. Many of you are in relationships as it is, and it's now time to express yourself in a more tangible way. Like, use your words, use your touch. There's something to be said about touch. It can speak in ways that words cannot. Just the touch. So that's for some of you. There's like this energy I was feeling, like even your relationships feel like they've been in winter, and it's time for you to, and this could be on any level. Yes, of course, I'm speaking romantically. So for those of you who have a partner and you've been feeling like it's in a winter phase, how can you be creative about rekindling that energy, For those of you with family, we get into such of these routines where it's like, get the kids to school, get to work, pick the kids up, get them something to eat. How do you rekindle communication? Or the essence of creatively enjoying your family. Not in the regular, mundane, everyday, like this is our routine, this is what we do, we got to get it done, da 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 da. No, what creative way can you express tangibly so that you're able to enjoy your family in a different way? That little spark of moments for a day, for a few 15 minutes, in whatever way is tangible for you. So yeah, relationships, but family, but also in business. Many of us get into business and you have a routine. Things go this way in the business, and you kind of get into that routine. But for many of you, I'm getting there's a need to find a way to infuse creativity within your teammates, within your employees, some of your bosses. Even if you're just a single entrepreneur, are you infusing and unleashing your creativity? Not for everyone. Take it as it resonates, okay? Just allowing your imagination to run wild, to unleash your creativity, to roam without limits in every aspect when it comes to creativity of your life, in family, in business, in your partnerships, in your friendships. When is the last time? We tend to be able to do this more with friends, but if you've been on, because with certain friends, you can come together and it's like you were never apart. So for many of you, what creative way can you express yourself within your friendships, This is what I've been getting, accessing new ideas of expressing your creativity and doing it without judging it. Like, oh, I don't normally do that, or that's not the way we kind of do things, or my friends and I don't normally go here or do that, or my partner and I, we don't get down like that. Don't judge it. If it's coming creatively to you, whatever pops into your mind, maybe explore it. That's for some of you. To shake things up a little bit, like returning to that playfulness is what I'm getting. The more creative you allow yourself to be, the more fulfilled you're going to be in every aspect of your relationships. So business, family, partners, friendships. Also with yourself. When is the last time you've creatively expressed self-love to yourself in whatever way, shape, or form? Writing a poem to yourself. Taking yourself out for a spa day. That's kind of, well, it's not norm for some people. But in a way that you've been putting on the back burner, I'll get to that whenever, I'll do this when I'm done with this, you know what I mean? Finding a way to creatively express yourself is what I'm getting. For a lot of you, there's this stirring, like this inner, within, this inner essence to express yourself creatively, to honor your creative ability. Many of you are growing spiritually. I was speaking of that, and there's this power that needs to be expressed through you. As you're growing spiritually, many of you are moving into higher levels of consciousness. And we just did a reading that I got, and it was about higher levels of intimacy. There's also a podcast coming up about that, but I'll let you know when it's coming up. It'll be posted around next week. But anyway, many of you are growing multidimensionally. You're growing, you're expanding. As you're growing and you're moving into these higher levels of consciousness, there'll be old habits that are coming up, old thoughts, old beliefs, and for many of you, that's just because you're just coming out of this winter phase where these thoughts and these beliefs have been your identity for so long. As you're stepping into spring, it's like you're shedding that old cocoon and coming out like a new butterfly. So you're moving into a new phase, which requires you to take on this new identity. And the new identity isn't as easy for some of you to move into because you've been the warrior, you've been going through the realms, you've been dealing with these emotions, you know these habits, you know these beliefs, like this is what you've known. It feels awkward to have these wings like a butterfly now and flutter around. But just like the baby bird gets pushed out the nest, your wings will become more comfortable to you. The dawn that's arising becomes more familiar and great on your skin as you get out and you enjoy it. Many of you are needing to allow this creativity to flow through you to assist you in moving out those old habits, those stuck emotions, any stagnancy of energy. Those old beliefs, thoughts, fears, they don't belong in your new cycle. They just don't. And for many of you, that's what's stifling your creativity. You're used to doing things with your partner a certain way. You're used to speaking to your team and business a certain way. You're used to maneuvering with your children a certain way. And it's like the children are growing, the business is growing, and your relationship could even use this spark of infusement that comes from within you. When you tap into your creativity, that's your sacral chakra energy. So for many of you, it's moving out of this muddy, not being able to see your way clear, stagnation, old beliefs of doing things, old habits, old thoughts. Many of you are outgrowing thoughts, habits, beliefs, but you're also outgrowing, what's the word? Like astral conditioning. As I said, many of you are multidimensional architects. You're spiritual alchemists. So there's also conditioning and or programming, like psychological programs that need to be filtered out as you're moving into higher levels of consciousness, moving into higher levels of intimacy, moving higher astrally, like any astral conditions, any psychological programming. Many of you are outgrowing that. It's like your realm, you're building bridges, like realms in different in different realms. You're a bridge builder, you're a connector. You're the way you creatively express, and the things you're expressing is going to bridge certain realms into higher dimensions. Multidimensional architects, right? And so as you're releasing these astral conditioning, this psychological programming, it's not aligned with you. And so as you're moving back into alignment, or into alignment with your new phase, new energy, new creativity, new timeline, new, there becomes the necessity to release the old stories. What have you been telling yourself and you've got it on repeat? There's a narrative that many of you, because it's been a belief of yours, it's been a thought, it's what you've known while you were in the cave in the winter. But it's not serving you now. That old story no longer supports you living in accordance with your spiritual upgrade, with your new identity. As you're moving into this new phase, this new identity, what would you like to experience? That's the key to focus on. That's where you use your creativity to focus on. What does this new phase look like for you? What would you like it to look like for you? Not focused on what went wrong or the old patterns or I've always done it like this. That worked. It worked for a while. Past tense worked. But it's time now to infuse more joy, more laughter, this new phase, new emotions, energy and motion. Many of you are healing astral waters. We know that the waters represent our emotions, but there's something about healing astral waters. So that's where this laughter, I keep getting this thing about laughter, needing to laugh, needing to have fun, dance even. Something about things being unveiled through movement. Laughter even moves energy through your body and assists you in releasing it. It doesn't always have to be tears. Yes, tears do it. But many of you are getting this feeling that you need to move in a different way. Some of you may have even been feeling like you need to move from where you're currently located, like a new city, town, state, country, whatever that is. You may have been feeling that, connecting with a new group, connecting with new situations, like changing your situations. It is possible for you to cultivate new thoughts, new beliefs, new actions, and to interpret the experiences of your life in the way that you see fit. Especially as you're moving into this new identity, many of you are cultivating new thoughts, new beliefs, new experiences for yourself, things you didn't think were possible as you're stepping into this new identity. As you're using your creativity to raise your frequency, to raise your vibration, as you're exploring these different states of consciousness, because that's what many of you are doing. Spiritual alchemists, you're exploring different states of consciousness. Some of you may not believe that it's possible. Like, I don't know, I've never done it like that, or I've never even imagined that or visualized even that this was possible for me. And it feels like a phenomenon to you, right? But it's possible. It may feel like a fantasy, but it's possible. You have to know that whatever you're focusing on, you are able to create it. The old thoughts, the old habits pop up from time to time, but the more you ground into reality, this new version of you, the more it shows itself to you. And so don't get discouraged if you don't see things right away, because if you don't know, things tend to happen in the astral realms first, in the spiritual. That's where this healing of astral waters is coming forth. So as it's healing in the astral realms, know that as you're focusing on it, and keep your focus on what it is that you actually want to experience, not what you don't want, then it will come forth, it will manifest, it will show itself to you. Many of you are going to receive this awareness and or do this conscious creating through your meditation, through journeying within, through journaling. As you give yourself confirmation of even the smallest little things of this new identity coming forth for you, of the smallest things of how you were able to creatively transform a relationship, whatever relationship, with family, with business, with friends, romantically, with your partner. Give yourself a little confirmation. Write it in a journal. Acknowledge it with your words. That even that small thing, that creative little thing that you did, is creating that ripple effect to bring forth this new identity for you, these new experiences, this new creativity to honor the ways in which you are creative with self. Many of you, it's going to feel like a very subtle, slight change, but you'll be surprised how even the subtlest of actions, the subtlest ways of showing creativity can ripple out and cause amazing things, people, and places to come forward to connect with you. Many of you are pioneering ideas and creativity. That's where you're building that bridge, realm builders, multidimensional architects, ideas, and your creativity. You're pioneering bridges, multidimensional bridges, bridges of creativity that connect yourself and others. Bridging the seen and the unseen. It's happening in the spiritual, and then it'll be seen here. Multidimensional architects, spiritual alchemists, bridging the seen and the unseen through your creativity, through your laughter, through your high vibration energy, frequency, raising the frequency, raising the vibration. In what creative way are you able to do that? The same way that water can go from different states, being ice in the winter, to gas, and then even melting into water, astral waters. Many of you are also changing in form. Change is a constant. We go through cycles. You've gone through your cycle of winter. It's time to come into your cycle of creativity, your cycle of spring and enjoying this life, laughing. This cycle of where your mind and your heart, head and heart coherence are coming together. This is for many of you. When this mind and heart come together, it's like the vision, your creativity can actually merge forth into this material realm, into matter, the seen and the unseen. It's time to dream outside the box. All you star seeds, spiritual alchemists, multidimensional architects. It's time to dream outside of the box. Higher levels of consciousness, higher levels of intimacy, higher levels of bridging realms together in a higher vibration. It's time to create the foundations of our reality in a fresh way. And that is the message that I have gotten. Thank you for joining me for this creative, collective, conscious message, CCMTV. I don't know what to call it. But I want to thank you for joining me. I am Tonae Star, and you're here with Tonae Star Enterprises. And I always say, shoot for the moon, and even if you miss, you're still amongst the stars. And of course, always let your light shine bright. Do what? Let your light shine bright. Always let your light shine bright. Do what? Let your light shine bright. Thank you for joining me. Peace, love, harmony, joy. higher vibrations.